All right, so it is Friday Pie Day and Halloween on the same day. Now, I'm just gonna address something right off rip. This is not gonna be as if you're used to like the super high energy, crazy, wild, pulling out swords, Drew. This will not be that stream. This will be a very calm, cool, and collected stream. We're gonna still do the TA and stuff like that. I was gonna have like I was gonna do a costume and all that stuff because it is Halloween, and I just don't feel like doing it, to be honest with you, because we received some. Actually, I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it at all. We received the most horrible news that you could receive as a software company in one of my companies. So anybody that's involved in pre-send or Wolfer Finance, for that matter. We did drop an update video inside of the chat for all of that stuff. So if you actually, care to find out about it, just, go into the pre-send channel or Discord or whatever, and you will see that video. So like I said, I'm not, I don't know, man. I was debating on whether I even do a stream today because I just wasn't feeling it. But at the end of the day, I know a lot of people show up to these every day, especially people on Twitter and some people on YouTube, and they count on me to do like the daily, analysis and stuff like that. And a lot of people from Nordic Alpha do the same. So I was like, okay, let's go ahead and do the stream. And also to just like keep some normalcy in my life after receiving bad news. What you have to also realize when you receive bad news is like the world continues to turn. So just because I receive bad news doesn't mean that, everybody else that watches these streams has something bad that happened. And if they count on me, then I'm still going to show up. Right. And so that's exactly what I did to keep like some shred of normalcy in my life. And yeah, let's just get into all the Bitcoin analysis. So we've got, we're going to do some live analysis, price predictions, a little bit of live, maybe live trading if one of our levels hits. I know we almost had a live trade the other day where literally we set the trade up on the stream. And then we were like doing TA on gold and Bitcoin came down and hit the exact level. And we were literally like 2 minutes late to that trade. So let's see if we can set it up. Maybe we get that trade that we set up on the stream today. No guarantees, right? But yeah, we're at the end of the day, we're still going to do the live analysis. If you're here on Twitter, make sure you scroll up, hit the follow button for me, right? Make sure that you share this around if you enjoy this information, if you enjoy this content, stuff like that. Make sure you share this information around and, hit the share button, hit the follow button, hit the like button. People, same thing on YouTube, right? Now, I am going to migrate this. We'll just say that this channel doesn't perform that well after a couple of things that had happened in, I believe, like 2024, a couple of videos that I had put out that I don't think, we'll call them the blue rube schmalgaprisms. I don't think that it liked those videos, and it seems to be underperforming now. So what I have done is I have actually started up a Drew Wolfer official channel, and this stream is actually on that channel right now too. So eventually we will be migrating the content over there because the whole goal of being on social media is not to stay stagnant. It is to grow, and it is to get the information and the content out to more and more people that can use it actionably every single day. And that's not happening on this channel. Right. So we're going to basically start it over and do it from scratch on another channel that has like 150 subs on it. And we'll see what we can do with it. So make sure you go over and you subscribe to the Drew Wolfer official channel, because that's where we'll be doing a lot of our TA in the future. And for Twitter people, if you're here on Twitter, nothing changes for you. Literally, you stay here and just make sure you hit the notification thing so that you are alerted whenever I actually post a video or do a stream. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, no, it's nice to be here too, bro. I mean, it's like I said, it's just, things happen, bro. Things happen in life, and you got to roll with the punches. And sometimes the punches hurt more than others, right? And sometimes the punches are the ones that you don't see coming, and it's in a fight that you don't even get to fight, right? It's like getting punched in the face when you're not even in the fight, and you're not allowed to be in the fight. It's kind of crazy. So with that being said, let's get into the technical analysis, and we'll talk about some of the trades that we took this week, because inside of Nordic Alpha, let's be real. Let's call it what it is. Inside of Nordic Alpha killed it on the trades this week. We took gains on Bitcoin. We took gains on gold. We took gains on silver. Big gains on silver. Big gains on Bitcoin. We took gains on the S&P. Across all markets, besides maybe Forex, but you can consider gold trading Forex because gold is now a tier 1 asset, and gold is now considered currency because of being a tier 1 asset with the United States dollar, that we did take gains in Forex, right? So let's talk about what's going on inside of the markets right now. I'll tell you where I could see Bitcoin potentially going first and foremost, and then ultimately after we hit that level where it could be going from there. So let's go ahead, get into the charts. Everybody sit back, relax. Like I said, it's not going to be as high energy of a stream, but the information in the TA is still going to be there. It always is. I will always deliver that. I know I'm the worst streamer in the world, literally, probably, but at least I deliver you good information majority of the time. 89% of the time, because that's my win rate. 89% win rate. It's 91.5% in 2025, actually. So 91% of the time, I deliver you good information, okay? So let's try to play those probabilities and those odds that this information will also be good and actionable, which it will. So here we go. This is Bitcoin right? And what I'm seeing is a nice little inverted head and shoulders. Now, we're coming down here. Dude, we might get the trade live. Holy crap. I literally predicted this earlier in Nordic Alpha. We might get the trade live, dude. That would be sick. Now, let's drop. Okay, so before we start doing the overarching analysis, let's drop down to the smaller time frame, see if we're getting any market structure shifts. We have not gotten a market structure shift yet. This is where you would like to see your right shoulder be, right? If you look at the head and shoulders, you would like to see your right shoulder be somewhere in the 107.8 to 109 range. And let's see if we get a market structure shift right here. I mean, this could take 2 to 3 minutes to figure this out, but you know, this is your high, this is your new low, this is your new high after that, right? Technically, it's technically not a good high, actually. This is your new low. Yeah. We need to crack this high right here to get a market structure shift, and that's where you can start thinking about entering a long position here, which is exactly what I have on my thumbnail. If you look at the thumbnail, it's telling you, like, here's where Bitcoin needs to go and where it could be going before we take another leg down from an overarching perspective. But we got to see the market structure shift here. So until we see that happen, let's do the TA, right? Let's do the TA. Let's get to it. So as you can see right here, pretty simple, cut and dry, right? We've got an inverted head and shoulders pattern. This is your breakout point above $111,000. So if we get to be around $111,000, I will say this with a grain of salt. You have to take this with a grain of salt. We have a 15-minute order block right here from about 114,000 down to about 113.5. Now you're going to reach, even if you get longs here, you're going to reach massive resistance here. And from a higher time frame perspective, we're talking 4, 8, 12 hour, 1 day perspective, this could still be a lower high in an overall downtrend on the bigger, more macro time frame, right? So this is a micro move against the trend of the macro time frame, which is a downtrend. So if we're trading this up, we want to see a breakout above this level, 110.9, right? And then we're going to come up here and we're going to start thinking about taking profits in the 113.5 to 114 region. Why? First off, we have a 15-minute order block there. Now, let me take the order block off and show you something else. We also have a naked point of control right here, and we have a naked VWAP up here. You might be asking, where does that naked VWAP come from? Well, it's very simple, actually. Let me just go back to that chart really quick. Where does that naked VWAP come from? So you see where VWAP reset and just slammed back down right here on the new sessions open. We've never come back and retest that, okay? So that is a naked VWAP. Now, the other news is that we front ram the naked point of control down here, okay? And I'll show you what these naked points of control come from, okay? Because that's probably one thing that you're really wondering, like, dude, what are you talking about? Naked point of control, right? So this is the liquidity on the way down, right? This is the liquidity that we could take on the way up. Now, I'll give you more information on this in here in just a second, but I want to show you where these naked points of control come from. So this is what is called an SVP, right? This is session volume profiles, meaning the volume profile of each session, okay? So as you can see, this is a naked point of control. You see this big blue line right here that's traveling over here? Notice how price has never come back and retested it and taken it out. That's a price magnet right there, okay? Doesn't mean that we're going to take that out anytime soon, right? So that's why you mark your level. As you can see right here, like if I take this off, that level is still there, right there. I've marked it as naked POC, right? Now, if I put those session volume profiles back on, guess what we also have down here, right? You guessed it. We have a naked point of control right here, okay? Then guess what else we have right down here? Again, another naked point of control, right? But this one got tagged, okay? This one got tagged, and this is our point of control for the day. So as it sits right now, you've got like you got basically two naked points of control, right? One is below us, which is way down here at 105. One is above us, which is way up here at 114. Now you also have a naked VWAP up here that we have not gone to, okay? So this is what the naked VWAP looks like, right? And I marked that out on my chart. So now I can take the session volume profile off because you have the context as to why those levels are on my chart and why we're kind of getting squeezed in between some like kind of pretty key critical areas and liquidity zones, right? Now, first and foremost, if we do get that breakout of that inverted head and shoulders, I would say we're probably going to be coming up here and potentially seeing some resistance at this 15-minute order block, the naked VWAP, and the naked point of control. This is where you can start thinking about entering shorts and taking your profits on this. Now, I would take the majority of my profits at this level right here and see if I can get a runner all the way up here to see if I can SFP, swing failure pattern, these highs up here and potentially get a Wyckoff model, right? A Wyckoff model. It would probably be a Wyckoff model 1. Even though it's not perfect because you didn't really get the SFP on this high right here, but you got your high, your second high. This would be your third tap up here, and then you could see a precipitous fall from there. Not saying that that's exactly what's going to happen, but I want to show you something that's on a much larger time frame chart that really coincides with this level right here. Okay, so let's go to the daily. Let's zoom in just a little bit. Bang, right? And actually, let's zoom out just a little bit. Sorry about that. We got to go down here and we've got to look at our overarching trends, okay? So we have this right here, which is a one-day rising wedge. This is a bearish pattern that we have already taken gains on. If you guys have been on these streams long enough, you know darn well that we took this trade right here and we took massive gains. We shorted it from 113, I think it was like 113.9 or something like that. And we shorted it all the way down to 109 here, right around here, okay? And then we called this out yet again, said, hey, if you come back up here, boom, and I can actually show you that we called that out. Bang. And we called that out and said, look, whoops, I moved it. And we said, look, if we come back down here, you know what time it is, take your profits. We came within very, very spitting distance of the full take profit. But obviously we front ran this naked point of control down here and we still have yet to tag it. So the likelihood of us coming down to tag that, eventually we're going to come back for this level. And eventually we're going to come back for these two levels. But look at what those two levels line up with, right? They're front running the back test of this pattern right here, okay? Then you've got a naked point of control all the friggin' way up here. So you could come up here, sweep this liquidity, tag these levels, reject, come down here, set a higher low, right? And then if we take this out, bearish or a break of structure to the upside, right? Switch from bearish nature to bullish nature, come back up here, take out this level, you know, at the end of November, and then again, short it all the way back down here. As it sits right now above $95,000 and technically above 94.7, we're still very bullish on Bitcoin, right? But you have to take that with a grain of salt because just because staying above here means that we're bullish does not mean that we're bullish on the short term, right? Here's your high, here's your low. We've been capitulating in between there, but let's take this wick out of here. Let's say this is your new high after that because this is your new low. You just took out that high. So if you come down here and you smack this low, or this is your low, you would like to see a bearish, or not a bearish, a bullish break of structure to the upside. For a continuation, you got to crack 116,381, but you got to get through this naked point of control, this naked VWAP, and the bottom end of this rising wedge pattern, which we have had a hell of a time trying to get above, right? So as you can see, we wicked through it here, wicked through it here, wicked through it here, wicked through it here. Never got any candle closes above it, which is very important whenever we're looking at this stuff. So you could see Bitcoin coming all the way up even to $116,000 and still having a nice fade down before making eventual even further moves up, okay? So these are, I'm not saying that Bitcoin's gonna crash. I'm not saying that Bitcoin's gonna go down in any like major way, in a dramatic way anytime soon. What I'm saying is that these are the levels. This is what technical analysis is all about. This is what trading is all about. And I have to say this. We are playing probabilities here. We are not guaranteed anything. Nothing is guaranteed in this game. And if you think that something is guaranteed in this game, I promise you the markets will come in and humble you so fast and so hard, it will make your head spin, because they will absolutely take your proverbial cookies out of your cookie jar faster than you can say, yo, please don't take my cookies, right? So these are the levels of interest as it sits right now. You have to take this level by level. You've got 114, right? 113.6 to 114. That's your first level of interest for long take profits and entries into short positions, right? This is from a swing trade perspective. Secondarily, right down here at 105-ish, right, is your first level of interest for longs, right? Because if we break this low right here, this is bad news. If we break this low right here, this is bad news, because we're just going to continue down, and we would like to see a bounce here, because it would keep this low as the new low. This would be the high, and you would still be in an uptrend, okay? So you would like to see this thing start to bounce here and not get below about $105,000. Now, if it gets down to like 104, okay, whatever, right? But you really just need to stay above this candle wick right here, 103 something. You really don't want to SFP this candle wick down here. You really don't, because that's going to set a lower low, right? This is going to be your new high, and you're probably going to come up here, reject from this, and then you're going to keep moving down, right? And that's not good news for Bitcoin and this, the cryptocurrency markets overarching in general, right? But inside of the larger context, like the macro context of all of this stuff, what we need to understand is that there's micro contexts to this as well, right? So as it sits right now, excuse me, we're in an absolute still downtrend on the 1 hour chart too, right? So 1 hour chart, here's your high, here's your low, here's your new lower high, new lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, right? See what I'm saying? So as it sits right now, we're still in a bearish formation on the 1 hour chart. Let's look at the 4 hour really quick. 4 hour, we've technically turned a little bit to the upside, right? We've technically turned a little bit to the upside. So that's good. But the 1 hour, if it keeps coming down, right? And it comes down and it sweeps this low right here, it ain't going to be good, right? So look at it from, you know, a holistic perspective, right? Say this is your high, right? And then this is your previous low. You cracked that low here, right? So this is your high. Then you came all the way down to this low, and technically this is technically your old high, right? Come up here, this is all chop, this is all chop. You take out the high. This is your new low, your swing point, but this is the ultimate low that needs to be upheld in order for this to continue upwards, right? Now, you probably did retrace about 76.8% of this move, right? So let's look. Yeah, I'm pretty good with the Fibonacci's now, like just being able to eyeball them. 0.786, immediate perfect retrace. This is a really good buying opportunity, and bang, obviously bang, you just went right up, right? This is what we were talking about on the stream, I believe it was yesterday, where we almost caught this trade live going down here, and we did not quite get this, right? Secondarily, from the 1 hour perspective, we are in a downtrend. we are in a downtrend, right? So here's your low. This is obviously, we just need to start it from here. High, low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low, low, high, and we just need to stay above 106,251. Otherwise, we're breaking market structure to the downside. Now let's look at the 5-minute chart to just see what's going on. Yep. Break of structure to the downside on the 5-minute chart. We just lost VWAP. Things are looking down for me right now, just in the short term. In the short term, right? We did get an SFP of these lows. We did get an SFP of these lows, but we're paring those gains right now. So if you took this from a scalping perspective, you made good money if you sold it up here. But, you know, you got to watch out for these lows right here. Now, technically, this is your high right here. So 110, 108. I don't see us getting back above VWAP. I'm going to be honest with you. You come back up here, you test VWAP, you got to start thinking about shorting and riding it down, right? And so let's get this big rising wedge off of here. And I want to show you on the 1-hour chart that inverted head and shoulders, right? So you are getting the perfect kind of like formation and back test of this head and shoulders. But this is why you drop down to these smaller time frames to understand like, okay, we were trending up and now we've broken market structure to the downside. And if we break this low right here, right, this low right here, we're breaking market structure again to the downside, break of structure, continuation to the downside. And then this is your new high that you would have to take out to then reverse market structure back up, right? And it's very similar here, right? If you take out this low, your high would be right here, 109.2. Okay, so we get below this. This is a pretty high probability setup that you may come back up here, try to retest this and reject and start moving downwards. Okay, so this is just the stuff that I would say you need to be paying attention to this. Okay, and then I know a lot of people don't pay attention to this as well. But in my opinion, you have to. And it's the S&P. I know. Crypto people are like, dude, I don't care about stocks. It's not about individual stocks. I'm not going to do TA on Palantir for you. I'm not going to do TA on Nvidia for you. I can, but I know that's not the point of this video, right? We're talking about crypto. We're talking about Bitcoin. Whoa, my bad. Oh my gosh. How do I get this off here? Okay. So we're coming down here and we're targeting these gap fills. Okay. Now, you kind of saw the gains that we took. Actually, let's just show it to you. So we took gains this week in Nordic Alpha. Big gains. Technically, you could still be in this trade if you wanted to be. This was the short from the back test on that rejection of that that upward sloping rising wedge, right? So we gave this trade out live inside of the Nordic Alpha private VIP trading room. Multiple times we've taken this trade and multiple times we've profited from it. I remember literally it took me 24 hours. I put $1,000 on a position, shorted it from the top, made $2,000 in less than 24 hours. This was last week. Absolutely insane trade. If you're inside of Nordic Alpha, you're taking gains in every single market, S&P, like futures, equities, and crypto, metals, Forex, whatever, swing trades, day trades, intraday trades, scalp trades that JP's giving out. Dude is an absolute animal with the scalps. He gives out great scalps. I give out really good swing and day trades and even intraday trades a lot of the time. So what I would say is we got to watch this level right down here, 105-ish, almost 105 exactly. Now, if you're in this trade right here, there's no reason to cut it right now. There's absolutely no reason to cut it right now. Let it ride and see what happens, right? Because this is a massive trade. Look at the risk to reward on this bad boy. 5.5 to 1 risk to reward. Just trail your stop loss down. Trail your stop loss right here. You're good. That's it. That's all you need to do, okay? Now, for the S&P, we've been talking about this all week, and I actually gave out a lot of trades that hit just super duper nasty style, right? This trade, we gave out this trade, we took profits here, bang, right? We gave out that trade, it hit, it was perfect, win, easy money, right? We gave out this trade, again, if you're still in it, great, you're about to hit full take profit. If you took your profits on this like nice little wick down, cool. But I've been keeping people apprised of this every single day of the week. inside of the equities TA channel, right? You can come in here and you can see every single day I've kept people apprised of these exact positions, of these exact trades, everything, right? And so that's kind of my point. If you want the high level analysis on this, you got to get into the VIP trading room. It's only 29 bucks a month, literally less than $1 a day. It is the least expensive it will ever be. And my point in saying this is that if the S&P continues going down, you will see crypto go down, right? Here's the third trade that hit. Bang, boom. Almost at full take profit right now. We're targeting gap fill, okay? And I don't mind giving these out now because guess why? We're already in the trades. We're already killing it on these trades, right? And so I'll give them to you, right? But as it sits right now, what I want you to see is that the S&P is in a downtrend now, right? Low, right? This is your low, right? Then you come back up here. This will be your new high. This is your new low. This is your new high. And now this will be your new low, okay? So you got to watch out for this. Now, why is this a high? That's some sauce that I can't give to you for free, my friend. You got to get into the foundation. You got to get into the private VIP trading room if you want to know why. This is the high and this is the low. And then this high got cracked, but then guess what? You broke market structure back to the downside. Market structure shift to the downside. You tried to break it to the upside and it just didn't happen. Immediate rejection at the 0.786. Front ran it by about 20 bucks. Not even, right? Front ran it by $7, man. That's pretty nuts on a $6,900 asset. So where's the next logical place that we go? It's right here. It's right there at this gap fill. It's big, massive gap fill. I've been talking about, and I know old boy, old buddy, old pal, Jerome Powell, says that he doesn't think that the AI craze is a bubble. All the AI investment is a bubble. He doesn't think it's a bubble. Yeah, bro, I bet you don't. And he compared it to the 2000s .com bubble. And he was like, well, those companies didn't really have earnings and stuff like that. But these companies have earnings. Really? Do they? Okay. So a lot of it is NVIDIA. Okay. So fun fact about NVIDIA is NVIDIA gives out their chips and loans them out to AI companies for data centers, things of that sort, right? And guess what they use as the collateral? The chips. That's like me going to a bank and saying, hey, I want to buy a house. And they're like, okay, we just need you to give us some collateral, right? And I'm like, well, I'm not going to give you any money, but you can use the house that I'm going to get with your money as collateral. Who's going to do that? NVIDIA does that. So as much as I want to believe Jerome Powell, I have to understand his bias behind saying that. Because he does not want the dollar to get murked, right? Because then they have to print more money, right? Put more into the M2 money supply, further devaluing it, further increasing inflation, further increasing the chance that they have to cut rates. And I think that this is 100% a bubble, okay? I've seen bubbles before. He's seen bubbles before. The only difference is that I don't have the entire US dollar ecosystem and M2 money supply riding on the backs of my shoulders, so I don't have to like pull punches and say, oh no, it's not a bubble. It's a bubble, dude. And that bubble's, it's bursting right now. I'm in shorts on the S&P right now. I had my wife and my mom, this is how serious it is, sell their 401ks up here above 7,000 or above 6,926 bucks. They both got out like right there, right? Thank gosh, right? Thank gosh they got out up there. And you know what? We're not buyers until way down here, okay? We're not buyers until at least down here, and at the very least, potentially even all the way down to here, right? So there's a long way that this thing can fall. Like if we look at it from an overarching perspective, whoops. And again, you have to take this into account, man. You have to take this into account. The S&P falling is gonna rip crypto down every single freaking time. So as you can see, the equilibrium price on this is the previous triple top all-time highs at $6,164. So if that happens, what do you think happens here to Bitcoin as a more speculative asset? That's all I'm saying. So you have to watch what's going on with the S&P, right? And if you want to know what's going on with the S&P every day, get inside of Nordic Alpha, where I give you the trades that literally set you up to absolutely kill it inside of the market every single day, man. Every single day. Look at these trades that we gave out just this week, right? Look at the trades we gave out on Bitcoin. Look at the trades that we gave out on silver. Bang, killed it, right? Perfect entry, perfect exit, take profit, exactly to the point of control. Nice bounce, right? Boom. Bang, right here, right? This trade hit. Obviously, we moved our stop, or not our stop loss, but our take profit up to the point of control, right? And bang, you got a nice little bounce off the point of control. We gave this longed the value area low and the 1.786 fib up to the point of control. Perfect entry, perfect exit, almost no drawdown. And then once we got under here, right, we had a descending triangle right here. We lost it, bang, and then we got under it, boom, perfect entry, perfect exit, and then we got into this long, right? Very simple. It was very simple. We did this multiple times this week, killed it in silver. What did we do inside of gold? I got to remember, where's the trades on gold? I don't think we got a gold trade this week yet. Okay, so I lied. We did not get a gold trade this week. We hit silver, we hit ES, we hit Bitcoin, we hit all those markets, but we did not get gold. Okay, so sue me. You know, I don't know what. Sometimes we get trades, sometimes we don't. I literally called this trade out live inside of the group. Bang, perfect take profit, by the way. That was actually super legendary. And somebody actually, I'll show you, this was pretty cool. I liked this. This was really funny. So I called this out on 1029 at, midnight, essentially my time. Said, hey, look, we're breaking out of this head and shoulders. This is where you can start longing. Scratch that, because I didn't think we had broken out yet. But then I said, hey, actually scratch that. Technically, we've already got confirmation on the 1 hour and the back test and bounce. And then if you go in here to Gen Chat, pretty cool, right? I thought this was pretty cool. Killed it on Drew Silver long last night on 1029. Bang. Absolutely killed it. And I said, boom, boom, right? I love seeing this stuff, man. Like, that's why we do this. Okay. So now I want to talk about gold just really quick, and then we'll get back to crypto, and then we'll take people's requests. If you have any requests that you want me to do TA on to a certain extent. But I know, yeah, there he is. Proubik. Yeah, let's see. Hey. If you're waiting for 3780, my friend, you might be waiting for a while, right? Just to be honest with you. I'm seeing, okay, now if we're talking serious, if you want me to be 100% serious, and like, if I was your mentor or I was like advising you, again, not financial advice, right? I'm not a financial advisor. This is just a guy with braids in a hoodie in South Florida on the internet doing TA, acting like he knows stuff. Although he is a verified pro trader with a 91% or 88% win rate over his live tracked results, doesn't mean anything, because I am not a financial advisor. I do not have the government title financial advisor, because I did not take the financial advisor thing. So take what I say with a grain of salt, because I'm just some braided up dumbass, apparently, right? So yeah, zoom out. When in doubt, zoom out, right? So this, in my opinion, is probably going to be your bottom point on gold, okay? 3650 is about as low as it's probably going to go. And it's probably not going to crash down there. It's probably going to trickle down there. And I could see something like this happening. See what I'm saying? And just kind of trickling down there. Now, Why are you looking at 30? Can you let me know? Why are you looking for 3780? Let's see what's at 3780. Because of the previous all-time high? Or are you looking because that's like, that's going to be your last level of support on the daily chart, probably something like that? So on the daily chart, let's look at the daily, right? On the daily, and this is why I pick out 3650 as the level. On the daily, these were your highs and lows right here, right? So once you cracked that high right here, you cracked it right there. This was your new low, right? But where did you find your actual new high? Well, your new high was right here, and then it gave you this new low, and then it gave you this new high. Now, you're probably wondering, and I would be wondering too if I was in your position, Drew, why is this the new low when this used to be the new low and we cracked the high here, right? We technically cracked the high right here, right? And again, I have to tell you, if you want that type of secret sauce, you're not going to get it for free on YouTube. You have to get inside of the Nordic Alpha community. You have to get inside of my blueprint and foundation trainings. And if you want the real sauce, just book a mentorship call with me. I'll be glad to run you through it. But just know that this is the low. So $3,630 up to about $3,660. This is your ultimate buy range. If you get down here, dude, this is where you're longing for sure. Okay. But what I will say is if we get back down to the hourly chart, and I said this yesterday, and I stick by it today, okay? I stick by it today. We have broken market structure to the upside on a smaller time frames perspective. Does it sustain? We don't know yet, right? This is your low. This is your new high. This was your previous high, right? This is your new low. This is your new high. So long as you stay above here, right? Which is $3,916, you can be bullish. Now, what do I want to see in order to actually be bullish? Because we're not bullish yet. I want to see a close above here, come back, back test this parallel. If not, back test this range right here, anywhere from 4,000 to 4,060 bucks. I want to reclaim this 200 moving average, and I want to see a big move up after that. That's where you can start thinking about longs. If we get above that level, we get a break of structure to the upside for a continuation up after this new high, right? This would be your low. You come back for the back test, and then you start blasting. That's what I would want to see on gold right now in order for me to be bullish. Technically, if you like trend lines, this is what you need to do. You got to stay above this level right here, 39.43, to continue this nice little uptrend, right? But that little uptrend could also turn into a rising wedge pattern, okay? So just take that with a grain of salt. Take that for what it is, right? Say this, boom. And as you can see, it looks like a rising wedge. Now, obviously, you got to drag this down here, and I can show you. Boom. Pretty simple rising wedge pattern. Now, how far up is it rising? Not that much. So how powerful is this pattern? Not as powerful as one that looks like this, right? Definitely not as powerful as one that looks like that, but you kind of get where I'm going with it, right? So that's kind of my downside target. You know, look, I don't know where 3780 is coming in. 3780 is like right here where this previous high was and where we bounced from support. We double topped here. Yeah, I mean, I could see that as being a bounce point, but it's so far in the past now that if you look at the daily chart, we could just blast right down through 3780 and get to 3650 like relatively quickly after that. So I would be looking more towards 3650. And if you do want to take a position here, totally understandable, bro. I just don't know if I would bet the farm there, knowing that 3650 level is that close down below it, right? So just, you know, do whatever you want to do. Now, what do I want to see on silver? It's very simple. This is not what I wanted to see on silver, but it happened and it is what it is. It fired one of our trades that, you know, was nice, great, cool. But what I want to see on silver is a bounce from here, a breakout above the 2.0 level, and then bang. And we have now reclaimed, if you look, we've now reclaimed this point of control, and we bounce from it, the 200 moving average, which is this green line, the 50 moving average, which is this blue line, and you got a nice golden cross, right? Golden cross means the 50 moving average moves above the 200 moving average, meaning that the short-term trend is showing you that it is now crossing to the upside of the long-term trend that was going down, meaning that there could be bullish momentum starting to turn around. Because as you can see the 100 moving average is starting to curl up as well. So once that happens, gets above the 200, and the 200 starts to level out and curl up, all trends will then be in conjunction and unison with each other, the moving averages, and we will see a nice little uptrend, right? That's what we're looking for. And I want to see it come up to at least here, $52. You got to crack 50 first. Don't get me wrong. 50 is your psychological level of resistance, right? And it's your nice little consolidation area that you had right here on this big dump sell-off to break this low, right? So I would like to see us crack 50 and then work our way up to this $52 range. And then ultimately, we got to get above the ultimate resistance, which is $53. And then we're probably going to crack the all-time highs, okay? Probably heading more to like $56. That's what I'm seeing on silver as it sits right now. Now, yeah, look at that. New low. Let's see what happens on the highs. Bang, bang. I want to see if my options are up big right now. So give me 1 second to log into my Thinkorswim, because it is Friday and I know my options expire next Friday, and there could be an even bigger move down coming into next week, especially if, Trump decides to do like some type of Trump dump stuff where he comes out with tariffs and things of that sort. But in the same sense, he could just like totally make peace with a nation and be like, nah, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it consistent, and then we could see a pump in the markets too. So, I mean, that's wild that my options, they're up. What are they up? I bought them at $3.30 and they're at $5. I mean, I took an incredibly small position on this. My open profit is like $200. So it's nothing crazy. I'll probably just hold them and we'll see what happens on Monday. I don't advise people to do that, by the way. I do not advise people to take positions right before the weekend or hold positions over the weekend with as volatile as our markets can be. My position is very small. It's like $300 position. And I think that the downside, if we do get this gap fill, could bring us right down here to about 67.89, at least on the futures. And that would probably make my options worth like 2 to 3x, which could make me a decent little $600 to $900. And I'm willing to take the bet on that, because worst case scenario is on Monday, I get a break even, and it's just a break even trade. I don't lose any money. I don't make any money. I took my shot, and it is what it is. But I did do some pretty close options, and I believe I'm on the 680s. Give me a second. Yeah, I'm on the November 7th 680s, the puts. So if we come down here, I mean, that's where I'm going to be in the money big time down here. And that's where I'll be getting paid off on my options. Now, I'm not telling you to go trade options. I'm also not telling you to long gold here, long silver here, or anything like that. What I tell people on Fridays when the markets are about to close, especially the S&P, the stock markets, the futures markets like gold and silver, is de-risk your positions. Protect yourself from the downside, because whenever markets are closed, you can't get in and out of your positions. And with Trump being in office and, doing his random tweets on Truth Social and doing all that crazy stuff, dropping poo-poo on people out of fighter jets and stuff like that. Sometimes it gets a little wild on the, I guess on the markets on the weekends. So just watch that, because you could see a gap, right? You could see this same exact thing happen, bang, this weekend as well. And we just gap right back up here. And then my options are at break even again, right? So that's, just take that for what it is. Does anybody have anything they actually want me to look at? I urge people to get into the private VIP trading room. Seriously, like if you want the highest level analysis every single day, get in there. And that's where we're going to be taking gains like all the time, literally all the time. Me and another trader, his name's JP Trades. He's a scalper. He's an absolute animal as well. Has a very similar win rate to me. 90%, 88%, something like that. And we do very well in there. Anybody that's in there knows that we do very well in there. So let's do the usual suspects. And let's look at Solana, XRP, Ethereum, Cardano, stuff like that really quick. I mean, nothing's changed here. Nothing has changed. And that's why I like kind of setting the trades up from swing trades perspectives. Once you get up above this 0.618 and outside of this descending triangle, right? This descending triangle, as you can see right here. Nice little descending triangle on the 1-day chart. Here's your floor, bang, bang. Once you get back above this, I mean, you're looking a lot better, and that's where you can start longing Solana. Obviously, if you lose this level right here, you're shorting, right? And this is kind of your floor price on this move down. Secondarily, you can short here if you just get a rejection at this 0.618 at a retrace. This was the perfect level to short at. It was the 0.786 retrace. It was beautiful, and you took it all the way down to the 0.382. Played out almost perfectly. If you're in the foundation or the blueprint, my trainings, you know that that's a bread and butter setup from the 0.786 all the way back down to the 0.382 and 0.5. Almost like really, really high probability setup for it to play out. Feel like this trade's on here twice. It is. So let's just get this off of here. Bang. I have both of those trades on here twice. That's fine. Seriously? Dude, why are all my trades doubled up? So, I mean, those are the trades on Solana. As it sits right now, you got to break above this 0.5, which is 195. And if you break below 171, it's bearish. You're probably coming down here to about 150 to 140. So let's look at ETH. Oof. ETH bouncing from the parallel right now. This is, you got to uphold this. If you do not uphold this, this is short city on ETH. We're about to get that trade right here. This is the trade right here. And you bring it back down into this like nice little demand zone, right? This is your value zone. Okay. So now do you bring it all the way down? I don't know. You got to see. I mean, you're definitely bringing it down to at least here. This is your first level, 3350. This is your second level, 3141. This is probably your third level at about 2600. Are you going to get that low? Probably not. I would look to take profits somewhere in this range right here. Okay. That's the trade on ETH right now. Now, if you get a bounce and you uphold this, you can long up to this point of control, or not point of control, value area high. Once you get down here, that's where you can kind of flip. Okay. Where you can flip from this short, right? Whoops, not remove. I need to this long, right? And this is where you can start thinking about longs. You might get a double bottom down there. You might get an SFP. You might get a bull div, a bounce from the 200 moving average on the daily chart, something like that. You might see some stuff like that happen. Obviously, if we break up here, we break market structure to the upside, and then we use this as support. You can enter here, or you can enter at the back test of this trend line if we uphold it, right? Now, secondarily, last thing, if we come back up here again and we reject, all you got to do is short this thing, put your stop loss outside of here, and then bang, you're bringing it right back down to here. So, I mean, those are pretty simple trades, pretty simple analysis on Ethereum. Let's look at XRP. I don't think anything's hit on XRP yet. At least I don't know of anything. Yeah, so you're back testing right now. You're about to get your trades. I mean, this is why we set these trades up, man. If you're not paying attention, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, see, I love your TA. It saves me a lot of time and work. Good. That's what we're here for, man. That is exactly what we are here for. And that's exactly what the VIP trading room is for, because we give you a lot more trades and a lot higher level analysis in there. This is on daily charts and stuff like that. Like, we do analysis on the 15, the 30-minute charts. We do swing trades, day trades, intraday trades, scalp trades. John kills it on the scalps. I kill it on the day trades and the swing trades. So get into the Nordic Alpha private VIP trading room if you want all of my trades and you want to really see my 88% win rate at work every single day. Very low ticket, very worth the price of admission. $1 a day to get trades like this. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, we took 7% down on silver by itself last week. Insane trade. We killed it on the S&P. We killed it on Bitcoin. Now, if you get a bounce here from this point of control and you got it, you already got it 2 days ago, right here. So you should already be in this trade, but I would be guarding this trade because if Bitcoin starts going down and it keeps going down with the S&P, dude, you got to guard this trade. Do not get stopped out at a loss. Keep your profits on this XRP trade. So let's see if we can get all the way back up here to this trend line or this value area high, but that is your target. Now, if you break down below this, you got to start shorting. That's just what it is, right? So long, what was this, 1030 or 1029 or something like that? Long, POC, bounce, retest of descending triangle. Okay, so that's that. Now, you've also got your long down here at $2. If you get anywhere down here by this value area low, you got to start longing. $2 is kind of the floor on XRP. If you lose that, dude, you're coming down here to about $1.45, $1.50. If you lose $2, you got to short down to about $1.50. Okay. Now, secondarily, if you get down below here, right? Obviously, this trade's dead. Never mind. I don't like that trade anymore. And this thing is also dead. Not this. That descending triangle, that's dead because you got the breakout above it. That's actually a bearish charting pattern and you didn't get it. Okay. So this one is if you get down here, you got to think about starting to short. Okay. And then secondarily, you got this right here. If you came up here and you got your 0.618 rejection, which you did, you could have rode that down into the point of control and then just flipped to the long that we gave you previously, right? So, I mean, we give these trades out all the time, right? And you just set your stop loss above the 0.786 fib and then you're good to go. And I guarantee you, you didn't hit that 0.786 fib. Right there. Very simple trade. Hit the 0.618. Got under it, bang, you back tested it again, boom, blasted down. And that's that. So let's look at Cardano really quick as well. Woo, Cardano's getting to one of our levels. 55 cents. 55 to 56 cents on Cardano is the absolute, oops, sorry about that. This is what I see on Cardano right now. This is a descending triangle. This, as much as you think that this is a bullish pattern, it is not. This is a bearish charting pattern, okay? Now, there's a bigger one, and then there's a smaller one. And the smaller one takes you way, way, way over here. This is wicks, okay? But this is the smaller one, right? So if you measure the wicks, okay? So there's a bigger one and a smaller one, right? Let's go with the small or the bigger one, and we'll take this one off of here, right? So there you go. Actually, we might just be able to extend this back here. I like that one. Excuse me. I like that one a lot better than this one, okay? So this is your descending triangle. You can keep bing-bonging here for a while, but eventually this floor caves, right? You've hit it here, you hit it here, you hit it here, you hit it here, you hit it here. How many times are institutions going to load up down here before a big move up? I don't know yet, but you know, eventually they have to give up because what is happening in this charting pattern, right? Massive, massive move up, a smaller move up, a smaller move up, a smaller move up, a smaller move up. So it's showing that the bulls have less resilience here and that the bears are starting to overcome them. So if you break below 55 cents, you got to short. But if you bounce, if you get down there, right, you got to short if you lose it. But if you bounce, you just long it and you take it up to the trend line. It's a very simple trade. It's a very simple trade. And you're coming dangerously close to it right now. You got within 3 cents of it, right? So just trading is just about being patient, man. It's just about being patient, right? You haven't got your 200 moving average rejection. This is your long. If you regain that downtrend, if you regain it and start using it as support, that's where you can start thinking about longs and then bang, right? That's Cardano in a nutshell. What does anybody else have anything that they want me to do? Man, I appreciate that, dude. I have learned this over 10 years. You're literally watching 10 years of experience in action. And as much as I think anybody can learn trading, but you have to be like, you have to take it serious. It's just like any other. It's just like any other market, okay? And I'm going to talk to you like a real person with this for about 45 seconds. Give me 45 seconds. We'll get back to the TA. Trading is just like any other market in the world, right? So there's levels to it, right? You've got, your 50% of people that are just, or your 10% of people that just are in the market, right? 10% of the population actually is in the market from an investing or a trading perspective, right? Now, of that 10%, there's probably 25% that are break-even traders, okay? Then there is less than 10% that are profitable traders. And what I mean by profitable is like if I have a $10,000 account, maybe I grow my account by 20% per year, 10% per year. That's like profitable. And then of those 10% of people that are inside of the market that actually trade, maybe 1% of that 10%, so like 0.1%, is actually profitable where they're a professional trader and they make it their living, okay? So think about it like this. You're in the markets. That just means that you play soccer in general, right? Not the entire population doesn't play soccer, right? So you're in the portion of the population that plays soccer, right? Then you're okay at soccer. Okay, maybe you play men's league soccer. Maybe you played, I don't know, D3 soccer, or maybe you played on a travel team, right? Okay, cool. Then you've got your making a little bit of money traders. That's like the people that maybe you got, a half of ride scholarship to a D2 school, or you played semi-professional and didn't really get paid for it, but all your expenses were paid for. And then there's your top level people that actually make money and make it their profession. And those are like the people that played D1, got a full ride, went pro, things of that sort. And then there's your top 1%ers, the people that are like, yo, I make this my living. I have an 80+% win rate. I beat Wall Street. And because most Wall Street traders, fun fact, they have about a 40 to 60% win rate, but they trade with such large amounts of money and their risk management is so good that they actually make a crap ton of money, because even with a 40 to 60% win rate, they're trading by different rules than we are. They don't have to have an 80% win rate to be profitable, right? They just have to have good risk management and a good strategy, right? And they ain't trading ICT and SMC, right? So they trade real strategies, real big money. And then you've got like your upper echelon of people that are like, hey, this is my profession, but I'm an 80% win rate, 90% win rate. I kill it. I can teach you how to do it, stuff like that. Those are like the Ronaldos of the people that are making $1 billion Nike contract. There's levels to trading, just like there's levels to anything else in life, right? There's like doctorates, there's, you get a high school diploma, then you get a bachelor's degree, then you get a master's degree, then you get a doctorate degree, right? And it's like, there's levels to it, man. So if you can make those levels work for you and you can actually, give out good analysis, give out good trades and be profitable, man. I appreciate that. Drew the Hoat. Goat. I appreciate you, dude. What does everybody else want to see in terms of analysis? You want me to do, I know what this guy wants. I'm about to short Toshi. Okay. I'm about to short Toshi. I hate to say it, Paul. Paul Grazie. I know you're not going to be saying Grazie to me, my man, but we got a short Toshi here, bud. We got a short Toshi. This bad boy's coming down. That head and shoulders that we've been talking about, that thing could play out to about 0.0044 cents right here. All you got to do is lose this level, close candle below it, bang. We might do it today, to be honest with you. So just be ready, be careful, right? Be ready and be careful of that. Here's your trade. I mean, you can use this as your low, but really these are your lows. That's your floor. I mean, if you close this candle under here, dude, I'm shorting. What are you going to do, Paul? You going to short with me if that happens? Or are you going to stay in your long? Because I know you were in a long up here and you were profitable way up here a couple of days ago. Hopefully, you know, you heeded my warning, but I think you probably took profit is my guess. I would almost guarantee that you took profit up here. But yeah, Toshi, dude, we're starting to get some trade setups. I know that in the past few streams, it's been like, Drew, dude, like, give us some actionable levels. Trading is about patience, dude. Trading is about patience, dudes and dudettes. This is where patience pays off. You break down from this. I mean, some people would say wait for a confirmation candle, stuff like that. But I would just say go down to a lower time frame. Look at that, dude. Look at that market structure shift. As soon as you break below this, I mean, yeah, you're already in a downtrend. You're breaking the old lows. You've already broke the old lows, especially if you come down here and you break these lows right here, and then you come back up here and back test. That's where you got to be shorting. I mean, this is the perfect textbook rounded top. Like textbook rounded top, man. It's just what it is. And it's almost like it's a cup and handle. Let's be real. It is a cup and handle. Show you what I mean. Cup, handle, breakdown. That's on the hourly chart. Now let's go down to the 15-minute. You kind of break into the upside. Okay, so here's your low, here's your high, new low, new high, new low, new high, new low, new high. Cracked the high. This is still your low. Cracked the high. This is your low. Cracked the high. This is your low. Yep. Market structure shift to the downside on the 15-minute. It's not looking great for Toshi right now, guys. That's just market structure 101. Dude, I'm telling you, I've been trying to tell people this. You can trade without all this stuff. You can trade. I don't need to see this to pick this out, right? I think we can all look at this and see that there's a head and shoulders pattern here and that there is a potential for a market structure shift to the downside, right? And that it's happening. We can all pick that out, especially on the daily chart, right? We can all pick that out right here. Boom, 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 right? So like without having anything on your chart, do you really need to have anything on your chart to know that this is going down? Now, could Bitcoin absolutely come in and save this? Yes, it could. But I'm keeping Toshi on alert. Let's set an alert here, actually. This is the only time that you fiddle in the middle, by the way. This is the only time that you fiddle in the middle. So there's your alert. Once you cross under here, whoops. This is how you trade, man. This is all it is. This is all it is. I want to see us cross under this level right here, and then I'm looking to short. And you can add your message and your notification. Breakdown. Potential. Bang. And then it'll just tell you. You let the charts do the work for you, man. Let's look at BTC again just really quick. See what's going on with it. We're going to look at the perps. I always trade the perps. I like the perps. Yeah, I mean, you could still break out. You could still break out on this inverted head and shoulders. It's holding up. It's holding up right now. You just got to watch, man. You just got to watch. And I mean, I can set an alert here too, right? Inverted head and shoulders breakout potential. And then all you do is you just click your notifications. Hey, notify me in the app, show your toast notifications, and send me an email. You can even say like play a sound if it's on your computer. That way it like alerts you. But yeah, I mean, that's what I'm seeing happening on Bitcoin. We got to like, you know, you got your naked VWAP, naked point of control all the way up here at 114. 105.1 is a pretty good level for you to be targeting as it sits right now. And I would be looking to come right here and of old low. And look for longs down here, right? Look for longs down here. So now that nobody else has anything else that they want me to look at, I am going to get off of here and let everybody get to their hashtag Friday Pie Days and obviously their Halloweens. If you happen to celebrate, happy Halloween to you. Yeah, this was honestly, this was nice to do because it gave me a little bit of normalcy in my life and got my mind off of what just happened yesterday. So thank you all for showing up. If you want to help support, click the follow button, like the video, subscribe, and share this around to the people that you care about, because we do give out a lot of free analysis and trades and content on this channel. And obviously follow the new Drew Wolfer channel. I'll put it in the description. It's just called Drew Wolfer Official. And this stream is actually on that channel as well. It doesn't look like anybody's watching on that channel right now, but it does not surprise me. It's got 100 subscribers. So if you want to see my content moving forward, I'm going to go over to that channel where I can actually get into the schmalgorithm and not be suppressed. I'm not suppressed on Twitter, which is awesome. And I appreciate you all for showing up. If you want to get into the private VIP trading room, first link in the description, you know what to do. I will see you all soon. Thank you so much. Peace.